So another pain point that I hear a lot is I haven't got space in my classroom to be more active. Well, here's what we can do for space. So first of all, we can think about the clutter that goes on in a classroom. So declutter, get rid of what you don't need or box it up out of the way. And think about the layout of the tables and chairs and how you can start to produce more space around the tables and chairs. You might have standing desks or standing areas or a little workout area, and we'll show you some layouts in a minute that we've seen that have worked successfully in other schools. And then you can start to think about, well, actually, we can have themed days. And do you want to talk about the No Chairs Tuesday? Because it was one of your teachers.
Yes, it was. We went into a school and they had an initiative which was working really well. And they called it No Chairs Tuesday. And by the time we got in there, they had it running really successfully. But the way they started it was just for 1 hour on a Tuesday morning, when the children went in, there were no chairs in school. They were all piled up outside in the corridor or in the hall, and the children came in, and everything they did up until break time, they did standing in the classroom, moving around the classroom, and bit by bit, they extended that until it became the whole day. And teachers I've spoken to after this said, oh my goodness, there's no way I could do that because I want my children to be able to sit and focus and concentrate, which is a very sort of backwards way of thinking because it's stopping the children from being active, where we know that the activity is going to help them to focus and concentrate. So do it in baby steps. Do it an hour at a time. Do it at the beginning of the day and maybe again at the end of the day if you feel like you need to introduce it slowly. But by the end of a few weeks, every Tuesday, no chairs. And the children at first will be a little bit like, oh
my goodness,
where's my chair? And then after that, it's just like, that's what we do on a Tuesday. We don't have a chair because children will adapt. That's what they do. And it makes the children really get on with their work because they know they're not going to have a seat at the end of it. They know that they're up all day, but it also really makes the teacher think on their feet as well and think, you know what, I've got this to do. I might as well just get on with it. And it works.
And you plan for it accordingly.
Absolutely.
I mean, if that's not the kind of thing that you think will go down well in your school, No Chairs Tuesday is just an initiative, isn't it? We wanted to talk about it today, almost to just kind of spark ideas of what's going on in the UK and around in other schools, and just to see what they're doing and what's working well, because. This is a great platform for us to share things like this. So if No Chairs Tuesday is not for you, then start to think about, well, what could we do? What could we start our Active Schools campaign doing? And that might be something outside. It might just be doing the mile a day around your playground or something. So it
can be anything.
It can be anything. But we any initiative like that that's just a bit shocking sometimes is the way forward. So here's a few successful layouts that we've seen working really well in some schools. So the typical kind of horseshoe shape with all the tables and chairs around the edges and some kind of activity space in the middle, that works nicely, especially if you've got quite a large classroom. If you've not got too much space, then having a block of tables and chairs, maybe towards the front or the back, having some standing desks and a small area of activity space or sitting space, if you like, it was worked really well. So they're almost zones. They've created zones within their classroom. But it's really down to you as a teacher. You'll be able to see the space that you've got. Like I say, declutter, get rid of what you don't need and what you don't use very much. And just doing this, I think, really makes a statement as well to your kids, doesn't it? It's kind of, oh my goodness me, this is happening.
Yeah.
We are going to be more active because you've changed the furniture.
Yes.
You know when you kind of walk into something is going on here, and that's a good thing because it's like a positive thing. We are going to do this. We've changed the tables and chairs to accommodate this. Right, let's crack on.
And with the standing desks as well, some teachers are saying, well, that's an expense that we can't afford. A standing desk can be a clipboard with paper on and a pen, children standing up. It doesn't mean that you have to buy
standing desks,
crazy equipment. It is literally, let's just get standing up away from the desk, with our own clipboard, and we can use that for our writing.
And what we found is when we talk to teachers about their layouts is that if you give children the opportunity to sit or stand, some of them will just automatically want to stand up, and it's not a chore for them at all. It's like I prefer to do this standing up or resting on something while I'm stood up, and that's fine. It's just giving them the choice, isn't it?
I think the other thing as well I hear from teachers a lot is that handwriting will suffer because they're not sitting at a table and not resting on a table, and in fact the opposite is true, because when children are seated, their core switches off and their motor skills become less. They become weaker because they are not actually supporting themselves. Whereas when they're standing, they could be writing, drawing on a wall or on a clipboard, as we've suggested. Their core is switched on to support them, so therefore their motor skills improve. So it's something to watch out for, and not something to sort of use as a barrier about handwriting.
Shy away from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.